The following review is intended for entertainment purposes and targeted for adult fans of the series.
Hello there, heroes! I'm the Pumpkin Ranger, and welcome to another Lightning Collection double review. And as you can see here, it's a Team Tommy twofer. We have got the Mighty Morphin White Ranger and the Red Zeo Ranger. Red Zeo Ranger is part of, I believe it's Wave 6, the latest wave that is currently available at retail. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't think I was going to pick it up. Zeo's not a huge season for me. It's not something that I'm incredibly into, and while I don't downplay Tommy and I'm not as upset about his popularity as a lot of other Ranger fans, I do feel that Tommy is a little overexposed and there were other Rangers that we could have gotten before this. It seems clear that the Lightning Collection has two main priorities before anything else, and that's getting out as many Mighty Morphin figures as they can and getting out as many Tommy figures as they can. So I wasn't really excited about this figure, and even when I saw it at my Walmart, I didn't think I was going to pick it up. And then I get video ideas that motivate me to do so. So I try to strike a balance in some of these videos, especially when I'm reviewing more than one figure, on the amount of content that I'm providing for you in one video versus making a video that's too long. I have, as I mentioned in my Dino Thunder White video, a bit of a backlog once again of Lightning Collection figures to review, and to be honest, I had some ideas that would involve reviewing 3 figures at once, but I think that's a little bit too much content to throw into one video, so I tend to like finding ways to connect 2 Lightning Collection figures. And then I saw Tommy, and I saw Tommy, and I said, well, let's do it. It's a Team Tommy twofer. So we've got Mighty Morphin White and Zeo Red here. As is the case, and even though I'm not incredibly good at doing this, I will try to get through this as quickly as possible. By the way, I noticed in some of my previous double reviews that I would say something like, well, I'm going to look at this on this figure and then this on this figure and do that, or I'm going to look at one figure all the way through and the other all the way through and never really stick to either of those. So I'm not going to promise that anymore. I may bounce back and forth between the 2 figures. I may talk about everything just about one or just about the other. It's a surprise. We'll see, except I already know because I've edited this when it's being published, and now we're getting a little too metatextual, so let's not worry about it. Alrighty, so I'm going to start out by talking about Mighty Morphin White here because, again, it's just a really funny story for me, and it's really one of the most impactful figures to me as far as the Lightning Collection and my history with it. As you all know, Mighty Morphin White Ranger was the very first Lightning Collection figure revealed, shown off at Power Morphicon, which I was fortunate enough to attend. And there's this funny story that I will tell, and other people like Ranger Liz will be able to confirm, that when people saw this figure revealed for the first time and just talked about how beautiful the suit is and the effect parts and the extra hands and the photorealistic face and the Saba and everything, that when I saw that figure in person for the first time, and I can actually patch in vlog footage here to show you, my biggest response was something else. You look on the legs and the arms, there's fabric detailing. That is blowing my mind. That there's actually suit fabric detail on there. That's crazy to me. Yeah, I was really excited about fabric texturing. Just the molded in folds on the suit there that demonstrate that it's not just a solid hunk of plastic, that the suits are not 100% skin tight, that they are material, you know, and those folds, I couldn't be sure at the time if the folds were something that was molded on or if the figures really did have fabric on them. Obviously they're molded on, but it was always just such a big detail to me. And that made it funny that I picked this figure up only recently. I remember mentioning that on Twitter and Ranger Liz expressing surprise and shock at the fact that I didn't own the figure as of yet. But this suit, and I mean, I'm skipping ahead a little bit in terms of my review of the look of it, but this suit is not one of my favorite, especially as far as Mighty Morphin. It obviously comes from the Die Ranger footage, and it just looks kind of different, but it's not my absolute favorite in the world, so it wasn't something that I had to jump on right away. And like I said, you know, I do think Tommy is a little bit overexposed, so... And also, you know, when the Lightning Collection came out at Power Morphicon, I was like, oh, well, that seems like a decent price, but I really don't know if I'm down to collect, you know, $20, $25 action figures. And now, of course, I'm nearing having 30 of the stupid things, so I've obviously changed my mind on that little detail. So you've probably seen that the Mighty Morphin White Ranger is the Lightning Collection's first complete, straight up, unmodified re-release, to the point where people who have seen them popping up in the stores as part of the latest wave have noted the boxes even still say Saban's Power Rangers instead of just Power Rangers, like this over here with Zeo. Even though Zeo is a Saban season, that's clearly just an artifact from, it could very well be just backstock that they still had. It would seem like a weird decision to completely remanufacture the figure and the boxes and still have that Saban's on there, so maybe this is just something they've decided to do. I still kind of praised it at the time because it was literally the first figure, so it had been a long, long time since that figure had been available, and it wasn't like Lord Zed where they were putting it into a box with another figure where you have to spend like $50, $60 to get it. You know, there's just, this is another shot at a figure you might have missed from a while back. So obviously that's how I picked this one up, and I'm super excited about that and it having been re-released that way. Wrong. I picked this up from GameStop's website, just regularly listed before this figure had been spotted in stores once again. So this is the original release. I picked it up just recently, but again, it was not the restocked, re-released Hasbro figure that, as far as I know, is not available at places like GameStop yet. So this is just the actual original released one that they still had in their warehouses or whatever. I've spent a lot of time talking about this figure and not actually reviewing either of these, so let's get into it. We have got that beautiful box art. Beautiful box art is going to be a part of every single Lightning Collection review because it is always beautiful. Box art right there. You see the other hands and Saba and the Tommy head and that beautiful figure. That effect part that is kind of my least favorite one because it sits very like at the top of a blade and it can always kind of fall down and etc, etc. I'm going to spin the box around this way this time to be different. So this time you see the solo box art right there. We spin around here and you see a pretty simple pose to match there, and I don't even think how the arms can move will be much of a problem. The complementary color on this box is orange, by the way. I approve. Turning it this way, you can see, and this is something I did mention in the Trent, the Dino Thunder White video, and I don't know whether it does factor in with retail exclusive, but this box art folds around to the back, while the one on Dino Thunder White does not, so I don't know. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers logo up there, folding around that excellent box art just like that. Set that back a little bit, pull over the Zeo box. The first thing that leaps out to me with the Zeo box is that I guess it's just the shape of this helmet with the star and everything. This helmet feels kind of swollen. It's a little, I mean, you compare it directly. Let's do like that. You see how much thicker that helmet looks than the White Ranger helmet? Just something that stood out to me there. I'm actually going to go this way because it's a little more convenient to do so with that talk about folding around. That art folds around. You see the Power Rangers Zeo logo up there. This one does not fold around. I really don't get what this is. Is it something that they changed more recently? Because again, like I said, this is an older box, this Mighty Morphin White Ranger box. By the way, you might notice it's even a little dented and messed up down there. But maybe that's something they changed where this is completely cut off? I don't know. Something that sticks out to me for this render is that this is a well-accessorized figure. You've got the Zeo weapon sword, the regular sidearm sword, and a blaster right there. That's pretty cool. Again, that pose looks pretty easy to match right there. Solo box art right there. Alrighty, let's pop them open. And you know, I think I'm going to go ahead and pop them open together. Top of the box on MMPR White is kind of a palish yellow gold that's kind of interesting. Of course, top of the box on Zeo Red is red. Words on the bottom. Words on the bottom. I should really like MMPR White, but unfortunately I don't because I'm still really confused by it. Orange and yellow. Again, like I said with Dino Thunder White, you know, you have white represented by the inner stripe that is the background of that. But that's kind of the gold that's on the shield, but orange, while I love it and it's my favorite color, is not a representative color of MMPR White. And then you come over here to Zeo Red, and you have silver, which is not really an accent on the Zeo Red suit whatsoever, and a crimsony red that doesn't match the shade. I don't really get why they complicate this so much and they just don't go for the ordinary colors of the figure. Extra hands that come with the wrists, what are they? A pair of closed fists. What else would they ever do? Zeo Red's got closed fists too. Tommy, you've passed the test and shown that your will to survive is greater than any Ranger power. Unfortunately, Green Ranger couldn't be here for the ceremony. He said he has a date with Kimberly or something. I don't know. And we couldn't have Red Turbo here because apparently we don't mentally recognize those powers, and we like accepted mentally in our mindscape that TJ is actually the Red Turbo Ranger. I don't know. We repress it. We use those powers in Soul of the Dragon, but that's in the future for you, and now I'm completely losing track of what I was talking about. Hey, look, it's two Tommy figures. It's the look. Hey, look, the white one and the red one. Hey, look at there. These are two good-looking figures, I've got to say, you know. There's a lot of gold on both of these suits, and again, they use a very shiny gold. I remember with the MMPR White figure, again, referencing back to Power Morphicon, that trailer they showed that you can still look up on YouTube, and just how it so clearly, intentionally shows them like mixing up and using this little vat of shiny gold paint. You know, when one of the last failures of Bandai's Legacy line was the mustard gold Zeo Gold Ranger. So I just thought that was more shade than an elm tree to like show, hey, we know what the color gold looks like. But yeah, it's great, shiny, excellent gold. There's a lot of beautiful detail. Nothing really stands out. There's one little thing that stood out to me on MMPR White, and it's the smallest of little details to notice, and it gets down to almost beyond nitpicking because it's just so small, but Saba's head, the ridges on it are painted black, and that's a nice touch, but his face doesn't have any sort of detail where like the eyes might be red or something like that. That might be asking too much, to be perfectly honest at this point, but I did notice it, but Saba's beautiful. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. The suits are absolutely beautiful. Zeo Red, again, Mighty Morphin, I never reviewed it and I've never owned it, but weirdly, because of its connections with Power Morphicon, I feel like I've talked about it a lot, so I'm like, Mighty Morphin Red, Mighty Morphin White. But I mean, there's that there. But Zeo Red, much newer, obviously. The star is excellent detail, and it has a good outline on it, which is something that has been hit or miss lately. Nice detail on the belt there. It's basically a repaint of the Zeo Blue Rocky figure, but it looks really good. We have a blaster here with a little blaster shooty effect part that is very, very nice. I don't believe Rocky got one of those. No, Rocky got an effect for his sword. So you can switch those back and forth if you want, because Rocky has a blaster as well. But Rocky did not get his specific team weapon there, the Tonfas, but Tommy got the sword there, and you see he's got that other sword on the side. So he has 3 accessories. He's got a nice little pile of accessories for him there. Tommy only really has Saba, but Saba is very well painted and a good size and detailed, and it's very nice. I wanted to set Zeo Red aside for a second and talk about something that's actually kind of disappointing and troubling with Mighty Morphin White's feet. And no, don't worry, it's not going to be that kind of a video. But I had a lot more trouble than I usually do getting this figure to stand up. And I've talked about how my shelves are a little bit slanted and everything, but it's actually the way this thing's feet are. You see right here, this might be digital zoom, there's a little something that looks like it would be a ratcheting foot joint, but it's not. When you try to bend Tommy's foot up here, his foot starts coming off of his leg weirdly, and you can see his foot is slanted. Like if I set it on the counter here and maybe digital zoom, you know, it's hard to convey that, but it's down at an angle and it never comes completely straight. And you might be wondering, well, what does it do if it doesn't ratchet like that? It's a twist joint like that. It's a 360-degree twisting joint, which doesn't make the first bit of sense because that's not how feet work. So, and yeah, on the other foot too. So that was just kind of weird to see, and I'm thankful, again, if this is a more original model, although the latest, again, the latest re-release is apparently the same thing. He's a little difficult to stand up because his feet don't sit really flat, so that's odd. Saba is beautiful. Again, this was also included in the Lord Draken release, so this was actually first, you know, so it's the Draken one that kind of repackaged that in, but the blade is shiny silver, the gold, the white, the coin detail is very, very nice there. And, you know, I mentioned with Saba's face, you know, I kind of wish they could have gotten the eyes on there, but they got the ridges on the back and everything. It's beautiful. I'm going to say with Zeo Red, I don't feel really any need to show the weapons too up close just because of what they are. You can already see big red star on this sword and looks like that, and then the sword that's sitting in the holster there, nice blue on the handle, but it's nothing that warrants like super close examination. A little on Tommy's head here, got that long kind of mullety hair there, that's very nice, but Tommy's face, it looks a little droopy, I think. He looks a little older than he's supposed to be. That's alright. That was Tommy way ahead in the advanced year of 1996. Back in the Times age of 1994, this was Tommy with the ponytail and looking younger. This is a bit more on the mark. There's something with the eyes that's off, but overall I think this is a better head than the Zeo Tommy head, and it looks pretty good. You gotta watch out when you attend a swap meet because heads have been known to roll. That's gonna do it for another Lightning Collection double review. I would recommend both of these figures. Mighty Morphin White is a piece of history for the line. Even if you're not getting all of them, like I'm not getting all of them, Mighty Morphin White was the very first one, and I just felt like it was something I did eventually need to pick up, and I'm glad I did. Zeo Red, again, I'm a little more hit or miss on. I didn't need this figure in my life, but it was convenient to review it with another Tommy. You got two Tommies for the price of one, and there you go. So your mileage is going to kind of vary on either of these. You need to decide whether these are figures you want to pick up or if you're just going to leave them sitting on the shelf. Thing is, right now you have an opportunity to get both of them. Like I said, Zeo Red is part of, I believe, the current retail wave, while Mighty Morphin White is a re-release as part of the current wave, so you can get your hands on both, and I hope my review in some way informs your purchasing decision, although you have your own opinions, yes or no. I'm giving these a solid maybe, I guess, kind of a yeah. Thanks so much for watching this video. Now that the video's done, you can let me know what you thought of these figures and of my review of them down in the comments below. Let me know if you are interested in picking these up or if these are a solid pass for you. While you're down there, be sure to thumbs up the video to let me know that you enjoyed it. I'd appreciate it if you'd make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you can see all of my videos, and ring the bell, get those notifications set up so you're notified of whenever I post brand new videos such as these Lightning Collection figure reviews. And if you're interested in lending any financial support to my channel, because especially since I've dropped a good amount on Lightning Collection figures as of late. You can check me out on Patreon or Coffee at Orange Ranger Videos. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you.